Chapter 9, Madam Rides the Bus. The author is Vali Kannan. So by name you could find it out that this is a author belongs to South India. Before you read the chapter, let's see what the chapter is about. In this sensitive story, an 8-year-old girl's first bus journey into the world outside her village is also her induction. Induction means knowing, putting into the mystery of life and death. She sees the gap between our knowing that there is death and our understanding of it. So, this is a story of an 8-year-old girl about her first bus journey. And on her first bus journey only, she had seen life and death. And then she has come to know, and then she tries to understand the mystery behind between life and death. Now, activity, if you see, look at the words and phrases given below. Then put a tick against the ones you think you will find in the text. A set of passengers. So, this is about a bus journey. So, you have to see whether these phrases or words is appropriate for the bus journey or for the chapter or not. A set of passengers, get off the bus. In other words, we say deboard. Ticket, please. A row of seat, blowing a whistle, get on the bus, platform, a roar and a rattle, slowing down to a crawl. So, if you find, we will discuss it later on once we finish with the chapter. You must have traveled by bus more than once. What can you see from a fast moving bus? Given below are some suggestions. Speak briefly about some of these scenes or about other such scenes that you have seen, or write a sentence or two about them. Rivers, roadside shops, moving train, a crowd, green fields, marketplaces, vehicles on the road, clothes in the shop, hills, railway tracks, trees, animals. So these are the things which we see when we travel by the bus. Sometimes we see when we are travel in our own vehicles. Let's start with the chapter part 1. Let's know about the girl and why she wanted to ride the bus. There was a girl named Ammai who was called Wali for short. In short, she is known as Wali. She was 8 years old, underlined, and very curious about things. Yes, at this stage, the child is having an inquisitive mind. The child wanted to know that if this thing is taking place, what is the reason behind it? Her favorite pastime was standing in the front doorway of her house. Front doorway of the house means where she enters inside her house, that is called doorway. जिसे आप बोलते हो क्या चौखट. Watching what was happening in the street outside. So every time she used to stand outside her house and enjoying seeing the things which was going on the street. There were no playmates of her own age on her street, and this was all about she had to do. So there was no one with whom she could play. So most of the time, clear, she spent her days standing outside her house and seeing the things which is happening on the street. But for Veli, standing at the front door was every bit as enjoyable as any of the elaborate games other children played. For Veli, standing outside her house, enjoying the things which is going on the street was as enjoyable as the children playing other games. Watching the street gave her many new, unusual experiences. So, when she used to stand outside the house of her, she could see many things, unusual things which is going on the street, and she had learned many things from there. And she also used to enjoy the things going on the street. The most fascinating thing of all was the bus that traveled between her village and the nearest town. So She enjoyed everything, whatever goes on the street in front of her house. But the most fascinating thing which fascinates her, which makes her happy, which she enjoyed it, that is the bus, which travels from a village to the nearest town. It passed through a street each hour. Every hour the bus passed, once going to the town and another coming back from the town. Every hour the bus was leaving from her village to the town. The sight of the bus, sight means the scene. The scene of the bus, filled each time with a new set of passenger, was a source of unending joy for Valley. So what happened every time the bus, when it used to come from the town to her village, there were different passengers. While coming down from the town to her village, or from going from her village to the town, every time she could find the new passengers sitting inside the bus. So her time used to pass in a very exciting way. She used to enjoy her days. She never used to feel bored. Though she was not having any friends with whom she could play, every day she was watching the same scene, but that had never let her bore. She used to enjoy. Why? Because every hour when the bus is departing from a village to town, or coming from town to village, there used to be new passenger. So looking at the new people every hour was giving her happiness. Day after day, she watched the bus, and gradually a tiny wish crept means came into her head and grew there. Every day she was watching the bus coming and going, and then there was a strange wish in her mind. That is, she wanted to ride a bus. The wish became strong. Okay, she wanted to ride on that bus, even if just once. Underline. What are the wish? A wish which had become very strong, that was to ride the bus once. This wish became stronger and stronger until it was an overwhelming desire. So, the wish to ride a bus once was becoming stronger and stronger, and one day it took a shape of excitement. She wanted to ride a bus anyhow. She wanted to see that from her village, bus goes where. Welly would stare wistfully means looking very hopefully at the people who got on and off the bus when it stopped at the street corner. So every time when she sees the people boarding the bus and deboarding the bus, her wish becomes more stronger. And what was her wish? Her wish was to ride the bus. Their faces would kindle in a longing dream. Kindle means shine. Their faces would kindle means whenever she see the faces of the passengers who were coming down from the bus, or they were boarding the bus, her longings dream. What was her longings dream? To ride the bus was becoming more strong and hope. If one of her friends happened to ride the bus and try to describe the sight scene of the town to her, Welly would be jealous to listen and would shout in English, proud, proud. Clear? If one of a known person or a friend describe about the town scene and the ride of the bus, she would call it proud, proud. Though in English, proud, proud means ghamandi. Is it clear? Neither she nor her friendly real understood the meaning of word, but they used it all often as a slang expression of disapproval. Slang means a bad word. So whenever they are not agreed with any kind of word, they use this word proud, proud. But they don't understood the meaning, and they never have tried to understand the meaning of the proud. Over many days and months, Valley listened carefully to the conversation between her neighbor and people who regularly use the bus. And she also asked a few discreet questions here and there. Discreet means a careful question so that people should not laugh about on her ignorance. People should not laugh. So every time when she used to see the people are talking about the bus, traveling in a bus, going to the town and describing about the town and all, she becomes very curious. She asks the question from the people, but she was very careful that she should not show to the people that she is very ignorant about the town. So she used to ask the question from the people about the town, about the bus and everything. This way she picked up various small details about the bus journey. Clear? Naturally, what happened if we want to visit somewhere? Is it clear? And if we don't know anything about that place, and if somebody has visited it, what we do, we try to ask the mode of traveling, where to stay, how to go over there. So everything, she started asking the people who travel by bus about the bus, about the town and everything. And this way she has collected little bit of information about the bus journey. Now the town was 6 miles from a village. Underline, the fare was 30 paisa one way. Fare means the ticket. The ticket of the bus was 30 paisa one way. Means if she wanted to go from a village to the town by bus, she has to pay 30 paisa for the ticket. And then coming back from town to village, again she has to pay 30 paisa. So total she needs 60 paisa, which is almost nothing at all. For her, it is nothing. 30 paisa was not a very huge amount. She heard one well-dressed man say, one well-dressed man is used to say कि 30 paisa is not a very big amount. But to Veli, it was a big amount, who scarcely saw that much money for 1 month to the next. It seemed a fortune. 30 paisa, if she collect in 1 month and keep it for the next month, it will be a fortune for her, a treasure for her. The trip to the town took 45 minutes. She also even come to know that from village to town, the bus takes 45 minutes. Underline. On reaching town, if she stayed in a seat and paid another 30 paisa, she could return home on the same bus. So she had made a plan that to go in town from a village by bus, she will need 30 paisa for one way. Clear? And it takes her 45 minutes to reach the town. Another 45 minutes to come back to a village. And then she says that if anyhow she gets 30 paisa and she travels in a bus, she has to stay back inside the bus because the same bus is going to bring her back to her village. And now for that she need another 30 paisa. It means she need 60 paisa to travel to and fro from village to town. This meant that she could take the 1 o'clock afternoon bus, reach the town at 1:45 and be back home about 4 to 4:45. So what she says, she had made a plan because every hour the bus used to leave from a village for a town. So she's made a plan that if she takes 1 o'clock bus, so she is going to reach at 1:45 in the town, and then when the bus will come back, she will reach again to her village at 2:45. On and on went her thought as she calculated and recalculated, planned and replanned. She was calculating the distance, the time. She was planning when to take the bus, at what time the bus she should take so that it should be convenient for her to come back to her village. So every day she was just thinking, planning, again replanning, changing her schedule, calculating, again recalculating. Is it clear? And this way, she was just planning to ride on the bus.